to its original elements. And again the time for the next creation comes. The potter, the transcendental potter, starts his business, starts his pottery. So this example of the potter, the pot and the clay. Please remember this example and everything will become clear. Can somebody explain this analogy that I just gave of the potter, the pot and the clay? Very simple analogy. Who would like to explain it just as I have? Yes, someone. No prasadam if you don't.
Nobody else is going, I can go. Anybody else wants to take it?
Yes, anyone?
This is like Maharaj, potter is Krishna,
Uh,
Pradhan is clay.
Potter is Krishna, Pradhan is clay,
And
Pot.
pot.
pot is Maya.
No, pot is the whole universe when it's constructed. When it's constructed, that's that's the whole universe. That's the pot, right? So the whole process of creation is like that. So the clay out of which the pot is made is always existing, but the pot is not always existing, because the pot is made, then it gets destroyed after some time, then the pot breaks and then it mixes into the clay. Again a new pot is made. So the pot is made and the pot breaks. So the pot is not eternal. So the universe is not eternal. But the materials out of which the universe is made, that is eternal. The clay is existing always. The potter is existing always. And then the potter makes the pot. After some time he breaks it, mixes it all in the clay again. Again he makes it, uses it for some time, breaks it, again makes it. Yes? So this analogy, is that clear? Okay, I want somebody else to explain this analogy. At least two more devotees. This analogy of the pot, the potter and the clay with respect to creation of the universe. Who would like to describe? Yes, Mataji.
So the pot is the end product when the creation comes into being.
Okay, excellent.
And, our creator is the Lord, and the clay is from which the creation is made from.
Okay, and what is that over here?
Pradhan is the clay, and the end product is the pot, and the creator is the Lord.
And the potter is the Lord. Lord, yes. Excellent. Now, all these stages in between are when the pot is still being made. Okay, what we're seeing here is a stage when the potter is at work. The potter shapes the pot by rolling the wheel and then by shaping the pot. At every stage, in all these steps, the Lord's glance acts. This is a very important point which must be remembered. The Lord's glance is required not just at the first stage, but at every stage in the whole process of creation of the universe. The Lord's glance is necessary. He operates by His glance. Can you imagine? It's not so hard to imagine actually. Just imagine a very wealthy man and he's telling somebody, you create this multi-storied building for me. And he just watches. And he's got his managers, he's got his architects, he's got his engineers, and they're all doing it. He's just watching, and as he watches, it's done. Because these people are his energies, so to speak. But he has to be there to supervise them. What are you doing? Are you doing a job? You're not doing it? So the Lord is like that. So His glance is required at every moment. And we'll see in this chapter, when for a moment that stops, then there's a suspension of creative functions, and those, see these demigods there, then they start praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, please don't stop the creation process, please continue. And then again the Lord continues that creation process.
Maharaj, can you add the role of Kal with the glance?
Yes, it's more or less synonymous. So the time energy and the glance of the Lord are more or less synonymous. And the living entities, the souls, they come in through the glance of the Lord, impregnated into the material nature. Then all the souls get appropriate bodies in the 8.4 million species of life. Yes.
So, in other universes, would that structure still be the same?
This is, the universes haven't even been have made yet.
Okay.
This is pre-universal stage. This is the preparation for the elements. Just like the potter has to get the clay ready, he needs water, he needs the wheel, he has to have so many other things in place. So now he's getting them all in place. And then he's working on it all the while. So then when all these elements are ready as it goes on, then multiple universes are created at the same time. Many, many universes. Innumerable universes. And that same Mahavishnu then enters into each of these universes. And those universes are like an egg, shaped like an egg. He enters into that, fills up half of it with water, lies down on that, and he is known as Garbhodakashai Vishnu. From his navel comes a lotus. On top of that lotus is Brahma, the secondary creator who exists within each universe. And then there's Kshirodakashai Vishnu, who exists within every living entity's heart and also within every atom. Okay, so that's a summary of the whole creation process. Creation 101.
Maharaj, the reason Lord uses the glance and because he never touches or never comes in contact with
Yes, he doesn't physically contact himself. It's just like the owner, the billionaire, he won't go and lift the mud and or the cement and just do the masonry work and all that, right? Is he going to do it? He gets his energies to do it. His managers, his architects, engineers, they will do it. He sits, okay, what's happening here? Why didn't you come to work yesterday? What happened? He's just glancing over it. Or he may come once in a week just to see what's happening. He gives his glance on the building. And everybody knows, oh, the boss is coming, we better do our job, we got to show. This was made, he gave us the task, by next week you have to finish at least the second floor. All right, we're doing that. So just by glance, he comes there, gives his orders, and job gets done. So the whole universe goes on like that. But if the boss doesn't come, his orders are not clear, and he's not careful in his supervision, then things get delayed. So therefore the Lord is very vigilant. He is there, his glance is there all the time. Right? Yes, Sheila.
Maharaj, how is the sky symbolic of the Supreme Soul? Because he mentions that in verse 33. So how is that correlation, how is it symbolic, the Supreme Soul, the sky?
Because it's a representation of his heart. That's mentioned in one of the verses. It's like a manifestation of the Lord's heart, the sky. Right? That's why it's mentioned like that. The soul is in the region of the heart. Right? Yes, Paresh.
Just correct my understanding. Does Lord Shiva plays some part in the glance?
Mahashambhu.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into Too many technicalities, otherwise you won't come for the next session. People will say, oh, this is too much. But yes, he's Shambhu. He comes at the level of the glance, at the very first level. Maya is Durga. Who is Durga's? Huh?
Ramadevi.
Ramadevi is with Mahavishnu. So,
his glance comes to Ramadevi and that creates the...
Ramadevi is another concept. Ramadevi is directly the goddess of fortune. She is Mahalakshmi. But eventually it is Shambhu who impregnates Maya. So the original Shiva is Shambhu in that glance. And the original Durga is Maya there. So they're husband-wife at that level, and they're husband-wife in all the universes. Every individual universe you'll have a Shiva and Durga. Okay?
So,
Yes.
yeah, I also have a question about Lord Shiva. Is he kind of delegated for destroying?
Yes, also. That's within each universe. And also above. But here is his original form, who plays such an important role in creation as well. But that is generally not known so much. We only know of Lord Shiva as the destroyer. He does his Tandava dance, plays his Damburu, dum 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 dum, he plays that, and then he dances, and everything then crumbles. But he also has an important role in the creation of the universe. Right? Yes.
Maharaj, you were talking about the energies of Krishna, Mahavishnu actually creating everything. So, can you explain about that energy? Like you explained the building, owner is sitting there, this manager is doing this. So, what sort of energies are they? Sorry, I'm trying to figure that out.
Energy is basically the material energy.
Okay.
That's Maya, and the energy of time.
So
that's through his glance.
All these different.
Yes. So by the energy of time, then each of these by combination, just by his glance, these combinations take place. It's also like a process of cooking. You have to arrange all the ingredients first, then make sure they're processed properly. They have to be cut and chopped in a certain way. Then you have to have a vessel, and then maybe water in it. You have to have the right flame. Then you have to put it all in. Then it starts cooking. Then the fire. Then you have to stir. So the cook has to be involved at all stages, from the beginning to the end. If the cook just chops the vegetables and keeps them like that, hoping that they'll get cooked, it's not going to happen. And then even after putting it in the vessel, then the flame has to be controlled. Some stirring has to be done. You have to see how much is the pressure, and so many things have to be seen, and then you check it. So you have to see the time. So the time energy works there as well. So it's basically the time energy and the underlying, the Maya, the material energy is there anyway. And then by combination, at each stage these combine in different ways. So the existing elements combine to form the next one, they are combined to form the next one, and it goes on like that.
So is there a time period, how long it may take or something?
Yes, there is a certain time period, but for us it's beyond our imagination. We cannot fathom it because we are thinking in terms of our limited time. Even the times on the heavenly planets are, 6 months for us is 1 day for them. And if you go to Brahma's abode, then his 1 day is like 4.32 billion years for us. It's like that. That's the scale. So as you go higher in the planets, the relativities of the time scales become larger. And for Mahavishnu, Brahma's 100 years is 1 breath. Mahavishnu is 1 breath. And still there are some people who say, I am God. Yes? It's because they don't know. They just say, I am God. Because he can create some gold or some ash from somewhere. He says, I am God. We should ask him to create the whole universe like this. So time scales in Mahavishnu's one breath, and then there's something we can't fathom. It's not conceivable. Yes.
Maharaj, is it the reason that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita all the time?
Yes, he says, Kalosmi.
Yeah.
I am the time factor. That means time is his energy. And the time factor is not different from him. In that sense, even the material energy is not different from him because it is his energy.
Just a question about the jivas. So when we were in the spiritual world, we had the eternal nature of
No,
Satchidananda.
we were somewhere. We were somewhere.
So when the jivas come down or from the glands, at what point did they start becoming conditioned?
We are talking about the point when the jivas are already conditioned. And when the creation has been destroyed, then those souls, where do they go?
They go back into
So they reside in Mahavishnu. Then when Mahavishnu decides to set forth the process for the next creation of the multitudes of universes, then all those souls who are resting within Mahavishnu,
what is it?
then they come through his glands.
I was talking of the original, very, very original.
That's a different thing. This is only during the creation, intermediate, between one creation and the next, right? Where they come from below, that's another topic altogether. Still grappling with this? Yes, Sheila.
So when we got into material nature, spirit sky, did we all at one time go through all the species of life? Or
Yes.
Was it possible to just be in this human form, or did we have to start right from the bottom and go through all the species?
It is extremely unlikely that we've only been in this human form of life ever since we came into this material world. Because we've been here from time immemorial. And that means trillions and trillions of creations, like these cycles. And in each creation, we've been through trillions and trillions and countless trillions of lives. So, just the sheer enormity of it, just the scale of things is so massive that we have been through all these species. I was mentioning in one of the lectures in a day or two ago that our history is been there, done that. We've been everywhere. We've been cats and dogs and worms and bacteria and kings and queens and demigods and you name it, and we've been there. We have done that. And now the time comes and we say, enough. Now let's become devotees and let's go back to Krishna's abode. No longer wandering here and there through the universes, this life, this species, that species. That was in Leicester I was speaking the other day. And I was giving the example of jaywalking. You know who's a jaywalker? What's a jaywalker? Just Google quickly and tell me the meaning of jaywalker.
Jaywalking is when you walk into traffic in a close to.
Huh? Yeah, when you...
I only know it from New York reference. when you don't wait for the green man, and you just walk into traffic and you go in and out of the cars.
Yeah, that is a special case of a jaywalker. But generally speaking, jaywalker is one who walks aimlessly, without a destination in mind, just generally wandering around. Just moving around. You ask somebody where you're going, I don't know, I'm just walking. Just walks, loiters here and there. So Srila Prabhupada uses the word loitering even for jivas in the material world. We are loitering in the material world. moving from body to body, species to species, planet to planet, universe to universe, from time immemorial, aimlessly, without understanding the purpose of life. But now we come to this human form of life, and now we come to the association of devotees, then no more jaywalking. Now our purpose is to go back to Godhead, to Krishna. Yes?
And plus also, Krishna consciousness, I remember you saying before, that is only going to be around for another 20,000 years?
10,000.
10,000 years, even less. and so if we take another form and we go to
Heavenly planets.
we could be there for 10,000.
And by the time you come back,
and there'll be nothing.
nothing. So better we should do it in this life. But of course, we will always get an opportunity to continue our Krishna consciousness in the next life. But why wait and take such a risk? If you can do your degree in 3 years, why try to do it in 10? Right?
Emergency.
Hmm?
It's an emergency.
It's an emergency. And we've already been through 25, not 10, for our degree. We should have finished it in 3, but
Maharaj,
yes.
I get confused with Lord Shiva and Rudra. So
Rudra and Shiva. Rudras are different forms of Lord Shiva. There are 11 Rudras that I mentioned. They are different manifestations of forms that Lord Shiva can take within each universe. They are called Rudras.
so they have different functions.
Different functions. And slightly different appearances as well. Hmm? Yes.
Maharaj, in the beginning you said that we going uni or whatever we books we have to be given. We don't like it, but still we read it. Right? Once I come in a Krishna consciousness, thanks to my daughter, I have lots of book, and I try to read, but I can't concentrate because in a material world, so many things to do on a work, on a job. You live
So
with family,
therefore-
so wife complaining, children complaining, do this, do. So many. No, it's true. So many things going in the mind. So I concentrate in the beginning, yes, definitely. But after, say 1 hour, lose the
You're the right candidate for Krishna consciousness.
wish.
And so is every one of us. Whatever be the nature of our situation, every situation is just right for taking shelter of Krishna. If you follow the process by chanting, by attending these classes like this, coming to the temple, reading the books, by doing all these different activities that are mentioned and that you learn, then everything will become all right in course of time. Okay?
Concentrate.
All right. So we should stop now, I think. So thank you very much. So Krishna Purnamati, this is part of your Sangha.
No, this is part of Vaishnava Sarvabhauma.
Sorry?
So,
Okay.
Vaishnava Sarvabhauma.
Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sangha. Okay, so this happens how long? How often?
Every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Every?
Every 2 weeks. Every fortnight.
Every fortnight. Okay. So it's a nice Sangha. Please continue and learn more and more. Get your fundamental concepts clear too. That's very important, right? Because many of you may not have heard of many of the terms that we spoke about today. So get a little preliminary concept thing clear, yeah? Okay? All right, thank you very much. Who are the hosts for today?
Krishna.
No, they're preparing. Can we close up?
Huh? You are our hostess.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for hosting all of us today.
This is It's like the blessing of my life to have you in our home. So, in Krishna's home. Thank you.
So thank you very much, and thank you to all of you as well. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.